Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about the more concerning issue with the Ohio train derailment. Now, the more concerning issue is the other chemicals that not a lot of people are speaking of, if anyone's talking about them at all. Now, of course, when you look up Ohio train derailment and you Google it or you web search it, you'll see the push for vinyl chloride. And when I mean push, they keep mentioning it as if that was the only chemical on the train. Now, there were four chemicals that they had listed, or three other chemicals, sorry, that they listed alongside vinyl chloride. Here is the problem. There was about 60,000 gallons of oil on the train. It was more like a lubricant oil, if you will. And this lubricant oil had proprietary ingredients or chemicals in it that have never been tested and have never been out in the world, if you will, or known to the world. Sorry. So these companies don't have to report these proprietary ingredients or additives. Sorry. It's like anything else, guys. If it's a big corporations, when they have proprietary like machines or chemicals or whatever it is, they don't have to actually disclose any information about it because they legally they say that they don't want anyone else to mimic or copy whatever that is, whatever it is, whether it's paperwork, chemicals, some invention. That keeps it close to them. So keeps it close to them, meaning now the rest of the world doesn't know, and they can keep all of their secrets, if you will. So the problem with that 60,000 gallons of oil or lubricant is that if there is additives in there, and people are saying that there are additives and they don't know what it is, these additives could be the worst part of the spill. Now, the other chemicals in there, you rarely hear them mentioned. They actually phase them out on media, in the media. When you, again, pull up Ohio train derailment, all you'll see is vinyl chloride. You will not see the other three, and you will not hear about the lubricant oil that was also on the train. Here's the kicker about that lubricant oil. They buried it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they buried it in East Palestine. So these oils are going to leak or continue to leak into the ground. Again, the side effects of those oils are not going to be known, and if people don't know what it is, at the very least, having a clue that it was buried there, they're going to sit there and be like, shit, we're getting sick off this vinyl chloride. And vinyl chloride is possibly the only thing you can use in a lawsuit. Come lawsuit time, they could sit there and say, well, it wasn't the vinyl chloride that caused these specific injuries. Whether it's medical or physical, whatever it is, they could sit there and go, well, that wasn't it. Meanwhile, they know that it was their proprietary ingredient or additive that caused these specific problems. So when you start seeing these weird problems pop up, they're going to sit there and say, whoa, it was vinyl chloride. We have to see past vinyl chloride and look at the other chemicals that were on the train and look at the additives that were in the lubricant or the oil that was being buried there as well. So there is a broader picture to look at, especially if you're going to sue, especially if you're in that area and you're testing the groundwater, or you're testing your well, or you're testing the river or the stream by you, and there's unknown chemicals that come up. This is why. So this needs to be spoken about a little more other than fucking YouTubers and TikTokers, right? Because, again, guys, the world is focused on one thing. Now, it's a concern. It's not a worry because the deed's already done. It's already out there. The only thing we can do now, guys, is, again, bottled water, especially if you live in that area, and hold from there. Now, unfortunately, with these chemicals in the ground in that area, everybody who lives in East Palestine is going to have to leave. Unless you are okay with drinking bottled water for the foreseeable future. Your grandkids, if they stay there, they're going to have to drink bottled water. No one's going to be able to touch that water in the ground or drink it for a very long time. And anyone downstream of that is going to have this problem. Because the problem is, guys, just because People are thinking that this liquid just landed in the water and then it just made its way down. No, it seeped into the ground as well. And it starts to leach out of the ground over time, super slow. So it's not a fast process. This is decades, if not 100 years or better, worth of shit leaking into the water continuously. Then you had that forever chemical, the butyl acrylate, if I'm not mistaken. You had that leak into the ground as well, and there's no filtering that one out specifically. Now, some people say vinyl chloride could be filtered out. I don't know. But no one mentions the other chemicals, the ethylene and the monobutyl, whatever it was. No one else can speak on that. Only vinyl chloride. So they keep pushing vinyl chloride, and if that's all that's in your lawsuit, you're going to lose, especially if the other chemicals create specific injuries. And if this lubricant oil has additives in it that are, again, held secret and no one really knows, and then you go to the court and they go, well, listen, the vinyl chloride caused this. And the lawyers who know what's in the additives, who know what's in that lubricant oil, goes, that's not it. And then, obviously goes to the chambers with the judge and tells the judge why. Then the judge comes out and throws your fucking case out because you filed wrong, or rather you had the wrong culprit. So that's just something to keep in mind. More and more about the chemicals are coming out, but super slow. But the proprietary ingredients in the lubricant oil, we're probably never going to see that in our lifetime. At least not in my lifetime. Maybe my kids or the grandkids will see it, but I will not see it. We will not see it in our lifetime. Anyway, guys, other than that, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.